Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 1 p.m. Central Time, as we get to ride home with you in the afternoon. You can find us on the good old radio, icradio.media, where we are Fox News affiliates. You can also find us on television, Channel 182 Charter, and then also syndicated on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. Continue sending emails, Donna@donnasedge.com. You'll find it right down there under my name. So continue sending those. I really treasure each email you send. Absolutely. You know, we had a huge football weekend. Of course, every weekend is huge football as far as the SEC is concerned. I have AP Steadham with me right now. AP has been with us a very long time. He has a syndicated show as well, AP and Kelly As We See It, where you can find him here on Fridays, Football Friday at 4 on IC Radio. And also he's working out a few other things. The show's growing, AP. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you, Donna. So glad to be here. Yes, every Friday, Football Friday, 4 p.m. Central Time, IC Radio, AP and Kelly As We See It.
Wow, what a weekend.
My goodness, yeah, it was the third Saturday in October, the annual Alabama versus Tennessee rivalry. And for a lot of Alabama fans, that's the rivalry because, you know, they did not play Auburn for about 40 years. So this is the big ball game, and you find out about your team. Well, Tennessee found out about their team, and that they were victorious 24-17. They were down 7-0 at halftime, scored 24 points to win the ball game. That's a huge win for Josh Heupel and his young quarterback, Nico Iamaleava. So Alabama had trouble. Well, both quarterbacks done it. They threw interceptions, couple interceptions. There was some fumbles. Alabama had 15 penalties, and Tennessee was with 11 penalties, both double-digit penalties. So it was a lot of mistakes in that ball game, Donna.
Yeah, they kept dancing back and forth with the penalties. What if do you think Alabama would have had a higher chance winning had they not had all those crazy penalties?
Yeah, it disrupts your rhythm on offense, especially with the penalties. Of course, there were some defensive penalties amongst that 15, as Tennessee is the same case. But you're on offense and you're making yards, and then you're going backwards. You can't move the chains when you're having negative plays, which is a penalty. So the discipline on that side of the ball, and just overall, Alabama, they've been penalized for the last couple of years now, quite a few penalties.
Absolutely. What did that do to their standings as far as, rankings?
Yeah, Alabama right now, Donna, I think they're down to just check here. We looked at that ranking before. I think they're the 18th or 15th. Let me just check that right quick.
I know on one they were 15th.
Right. So they're barely in that top 25 now, Donna. They're moving down with those losses. So right now they're 15th ranked, Alabama, in the AP poll.
Mm-hmm. I was inundated by emails about that ball game, as you can say, imagine. What does Alabama have to do to get back up into that top 10?
Yeah, I think, Donna, they have to cut down on the penalties, show some discipline with their offense and their defense, special teams. I think they have to run the ball a little bit more because they threw the ball 45 times on Saturday. Actually dropped back to pass the ball 50 times, but the quarterback had to run around, so he didn't attempt to pass. So in that game, Donna, 34 times they rushed the football, only 75 yards. That is not a good average, Donna. That is just a little bit over 2 yards per carry. That's not going to win you very many ball games. Tennessee, on the other hand, Donna, they ran only 43 times, just 9 more times, 217 yards they had rushing against Alabama. Well, Alabama's rush defense was not very good on Saturday. That's due to Tennessee. Their offensive line had a good day.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got a lot of emails also from Tennessee fans. They're pretty happy. What did that do for them in the rankings?
Yeah, they should be, Donna, because Tennessee is a team that they had the one loss to Arkansas, and they were trying to make sure that was the only one in the conference because they're trying to get in that 12-team playoff. They have a good quarterback. He's a young quarterback, but he still makes some mistakes. But, Donna, they have a really good defense. Their defense has not allowed anybody – I don't think they allowed anybody 20 points for quite a while now. So in this day and age, that's pretty good. So yeah, they moved up in the rankings. I don't have that number right here. Number 7. I'm sorry, number 7. I do have that. Yeah, Donna, they have a bye this week. Tennessee has a bye, so they have 2 weeks to celebrate with a bye. Number 7 in the country, and they could move. They could move up, Donna, because, like I said, when you have a good defense, Donna, you always have a chance to be in the ball game. And they have this bye, and then they have to host Kentucky in Knoxville. So that's a winnable game for them. So they're feeling excited about the chances. They're going to be waiting to travel to Athens, Georgia. And that game will be November 16th because they're going to host Kentucky and Mississippi State back-to-back. They should win those ball games. They shouldn't have any trouble winning those ball games.
I also received several emails. Now, I didn't see the fights come out, but they were talking about how aggressive some of the Alabama players were. And so one Alabama player, I don't remember which one they said, actually went at one of the Tennessee players. And the Tennessee player was about to put his hand back to start to, going ahead and continue with the fight. But one of the Tennessee other players pulled the guy out.
Right. There's always jawbone in these games, Donna. And I think that Alabama, this has happened now, a little bit of taunting, a little bit of jawboning with the other team. They had an unsportsmanlike conduct. It was 4th and 7, but the flag was thrown on Alabama, so that's 15-plus yards, so that made it 4th and 22. Alabama fell short on that play, and that was really the ball game. They had one more chance, I guess it was, but it was intercepted. But Alabama, they need to show the discipline that, look, this is not the boxing team. This is the football team. Okay, we're wearing pads. If they say something to you, you have to show the integrity and respect for yourself, your team, your coaches, and your fans to refrain from any type of physical retaliation. But obviously they didn't. So that's something that needs to be addressed at Alabama. And then Tennessee, I mean, they were taunting him. There's no question. And he raised his hand. He was going to retaliate as well, but they didn't throw the flag against him. So the Alabama player got called. But just in general in college football, Donnie, you see a lot of talking. And I'm all for fun, like I always say, but I'm not for taunting anybody. I think that's against the spirit of being a good competitor. I really do.
I do too. And I don't want to cast a bad light on Alabama because at the end of the game, you could see some of them hugging up with each other. And I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. They most of them have respect for the opponent. Most of them do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can't let one person mess up the whole team. Okay. There were some other ball games being played this weekend.
Yeah, some other big ball games. Georgia was looking to rebound after that loss to Alabama a few weeks back. They traveled to Texas. Texas is the top team, and Georgia went ahead 23-0 by halftime. And I always told people, and I think we discussed this last week, Donna, that Texas, although they were undefeated, they had not faced a above-average quarterback. And we know Carson Beck of Georgia is definitely one of the better quarterbacks in the conference. He makes mistakes, so he threw for 3 interceptions in the ball game, but Georgia held on to win that ball game 30-15. It's 23-0 at one point. Texas came back to make it, I think, 23-15. Georgia had another touchdown, make it 30-15 for the final score. But Texas, their defense, like I said, was not exposed to an above-average quarterback. And there were some turnovers in the game by Texas and Georgia, but Georgia was too strong defensively. They sacked Texas's quarterback down a big number, 7. That's a big number if you sack a quarterback. You get 2 or 3 in a ball game, you're feeling happy. 7 is way beyond the average, and that can make your team look bad on offense because then you don't have any rhythm. Your quarterback has nervous feet. They're trying to get rid of the ball too quick. And you're not throwing to the right person. You maybe affects your accuracy and your rhythm as well. So Texas was exposed. Georgia played very good football on offense and defense, but there's still a lot of games to be played. And everybody in the Southeastern Conference now has one loss down, at least minimum.
Okay, so according to the rankings right now, the rankings you trust, who are in the top 5?
Right, right. The top five now. I look at the Associated Press, Donna, and they have the top five. Oregon at 7-0. Number one, they're in the Big Ten now, and that's right, the Big Ten. Second is Georgia at 6-1. Number three is Penn State, 6-0. Number four is Ohio State, 5-1, and number five is Texas, 6-1. So you have three Big Ten teams and two SEC teams in the top five at this moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, SEC, we got to work on that just a little bit. We want to dominate. Absolutely. Okay, so in the game you just mentioned, let's go back because this is a question that was asked quite a bit, the Alabama-Tennessee game.
Yeah.
Do you think one coach did it just boil down to, and this is from Mark, did this just boil down from one coach out coaching the other one? Do you think that's what happened?
No, I don't think so at all, because there were very similarities in the ball game down. Both quarterbacks had wide open receivers, missed them all day long. Jalen Milroe had some opportunities. Nico Iamaleava had some opportunities down the field, could not complete those passes. Both teams had interceptions, fumbles, double-digit penalties. Really came down to Tennessee making one or two more plays at the end, and that was the difference in the score. But Alabama had a 7-0 lead at the halftime, playing very good defense. Second half, gave up 24 points. Couldn't hold the lead, couldn't score enough points to win the ball game. So, no, both coaches, they did a good job, but their teams made a lot of mistakes in this game, Don, a lot of mistakes.
Wow. I think it came down to just, personality conflicts, I think, out there on the field. That's probably what it can boil down to. So let me ask you this question. Where were you this weekend, by the way? Which team?
Yeah, I was at the Alabama-Tennessee game in Knoxville.
They said it was really loud. Could you hear yourself think out there?
Don, it was very loud when they let us on the field at the end of the ball game, the last 5-6 minutes. Yes, it was extremely loud. Big crowd. There was people outside the stadium as well. And Tennessee fans, this is their rival game. Just like Alabama, I think for a lot of Alabama people, this is the big game during the year, the third Saturday in October. And the leaves are changing, the colors of the leaves are changing, and you have the crimson and the orange. And so it's a huge SEC game that's really celebrated not only regionally, but nationally.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Let's cut to a commercial break, and we'll be right back in just a few minutes. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. We're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. You know all the ways you can find us. You can also find us on all the social media sites. And so we do appreciate you getting with us. I have AP Steadham. AP has been with us a very long time. His show is growing. He's about to be syndicated. Another one, we can't talk about it yet. It's not happened yet. But anyway, congratulations on the growth. I think you and Kelly are doing a great job.
Oh, thank you, Donna. I really appreciate being on IC Radio every football Friday, 4 p.m. Central. 4 p.m. Central, IC Radio.
Now, there were other ball games being played. I know you want to talk about those.
Yeah, Auburn went to Missouri, the Tigers versus the Tigers, Auburn Tigers versus the Missouri Tigers. And Auburn, Donna, they held a 17-6 lead in this ball game, but they couldn't manage to hold on. Missouri, the Brady Cook, the quarterback, was injured. He went to the hospital, came back. He had some problems with his ankle, came back and led them to a 21-17 victory. Auburn, Donna, they had a fumble in the game. They had only 286 yards total. One touchdown was a non-offensive touchdown, which they scored. The third downs, they were only 4 for 14. They were only 4 for 14 down. Mizzou was a little bit better at 7 for 17. There was, double-digit lead, as I mentioned, and Mizzou scored 15 fourth-quarter points, Donna. 15 fourth-quarter points to win at home. And Auburn is just really struggling, Donna. They can't seem to come up with enough plays where they can sustain the lead. I mean, we've seen it, the progression through the season, where they were giving the ball away, the 130th and the turnover mark, which is almost at the bottom. They're giving the ball away, but they were moving the football, but they couldn't score a touchdown because they're giving it to the other team with the turnovers. This game, they just couldn't hold the lead. 21 points is not a lot to surrender on the road down it defensively. But offensively, they sputtered. When you have less than 300 yards down it, that is not a good performance by your offense in this day and age. So they struggled. So Auburn, they're 0-4 in the conference, 2-5 on the season. Mm-hmm. They're looking for answers, Donna, right now. They're looking for answers. So, and Mizzou is number 21 in the country now, 6-1, 2-1 in the conference. So Mizzou is looking to sustain their winning ways, and they're trying to get in that 12-team college football playoff. So they face Alabama this weekend, and we know that Alabama is vulnerable. So Mizzou Tigers come to town. Alabama, they better get ready because Mizzou likes to throw the football. Luke Burden, the third, one of the best receivers in the country, and Brady Cook is a dual-threat quarterback. Mm-hmm. And Mizzou's a team that they're used to winning now. Under Eli Drinkwitz, they've built a winning program right now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about some of the other, either inside or outside of our conference, the SEC.
Yeah, well, Donna, something I want to bring up is Vanderbilt, number 25 ranked in the country. Vanderbilt, think about that. Last year, they couldn't win a game in the conference. They're 25th in the entire country right now, sitting at 5-2, 2-1. They host Texas. They host Texas on Saturday in Nashville, the Music City, and we know. I wonder if Vanderbilt fans will show up for the game, because usually when there's a big opponent coming to town, they're thinking that Vanderbilt might lose, so they're selling their tickets. But now Vanderbilt's 25th ranked. Are they going to hold on to those tickets and support the team, the Commodores? I hope so. I hope that happens for them. Mm-hmm. So that should be an interesting ball game. They skated by Ball State 24-14. Wasn't a really good performance, but they won. That's the most important. But Vanderbilt, with Diego Pavia, their quarterback, the transfer from Mexico State, he's brought enthusiasm and magic to that team. Now, can they beat a team like Texas? I don't know. We're going to find out. But they beat Alabama, put 40 points on them, so I wouldn't take them lightly. And I wouldn't take them. And Texas is coming off a loss. I hope their coach gets their attention, because Vanderbilt can beat you. You have to watch out.
Let me ask you a question. This relates to, we've really had some strange games this year. It almost makes me think of the year 2020 with COVID. You remember, some upsets that we just didn't imagine happen. Is it in the air? It just seems like a really strange, or are they trying to adjust?
Right. Yeah, there's been some interesting games, Donna. You take, for instance, the game, Kentucky was a team, Donna, that beat Ole Miss. Ole Miss. They were a top 10 team, top 5 team. Beat Ole Miss in Oxford. Okay, so they played against Florida this past weekend. They gave up 48 points to Florida, and they kept Ole Miss, a high-scoring team, to 17. Talk about a strange year of football. That's an interesting score. Florida beats Kentucky 48-20, and down in Gainesville, actually. So Auburn has to travel to Kentucky. So those are two teams just searching for answers. And between them, Donna, they just have the one win in the conference. As I mentioned, Kentucky had upset Ole Miss in Oxford 3-4 weeks ago. So that's a strange thing right there. LSU continues to win, Donna. They're on a hot streak now. They're playing good football. The defense is competing. They beat Arkansas, which is a tough team in Fayetteville. And those games have usually been, for the last 3-4 years, maybe three points. They beat Arkansas 34-10. It wasn't a contest. They overwhelmed them. So LSU, the team, Garrett Nussmeier can pass the football. He's very good. He's above average quarterback, very good quarterback, has the receivers. And then offensively, they're running the football. I think the running back had over 100 yards. And they were struggling in that area. But against Arkansas, they were able to get over 100 yards by that running back. So LSU is a team to watch out for, Donna, because they're playing better on defense. And that was their Achilles heel through the years and under Brian Kelly. So they're getting better in that department. So they're another one-loss team. You have Texas with one loss, Georgia with one loss, LSU with one loss, Tennessee with one loss, Missouri with one loss. So the conference championship, we don't know who's going to make it to the game.
It's a toss-up right now.
At this point, you have A&M. A&M is undefeated in the conference now, Texas A&M. So they beat Mississippi State. So they're looking at 4-0 in the conference, 6-1. So that's 6 teams right there. I believe that's the correct number. 6 teams, 1 loss or none. Texas A&M at the top right now. So this is a very competitive year, Don, which is fun. Fun for the fans because every game matters, and you don't know who's going to win. It's that unscripted drama, as we always mention, to college football and sports.
For what you know right now, next week, I know things can change dramatically, but next week, how do you think the rankings are going to change in the top 5?
Ooh, that's a good question. For instance, I'll just give you an example. The teams that have the bye, Georgia has a bye, so nothing's going to happen there. Tennessee has a bye. Those are the 2 top teams that have byes in the Southeastern Conference. LSU is a team that faces Texas A&M, so that's a huge ball game, Don. That'll change a ranking right there because LSU is number 8 at 6-1, 3-0 in the conference. Texas A&M 6-1, 4-0 in the conference. The LSU's loss was outside the conference to USC the first game. So they're playing in College Station. So that's a game that will change the rankings right there because they're both in the top 15. So that will happen. That's probably I would say that game and the Alabama, Missouri versus Alabama game, those are probably the two biggest games within the SEC. And also you have to consider the Texas Vanderbilt game because they're both ranked. Texas number 5, Vanderbilt number 25. So that's 3 games right there where you have 2 teams are ranked. 3 games in the SEC. There's only 6 games this week, Donna, in the Southeastern Conference, and 3 of them have ranked opponents competing against each other.
Yeah, would you say the Vanderbilt team is probably the Cinderella team this year?
Cinderella and then some right now. I believe so. I think so, Donna. Yes, because no one expected Vanderbilt.
No.
They need one more win to be bowl eligible, and that hasn't happened for a while. They have 5 victories. You need 6, so they need one more victory. And now you have Texas. Like I say, they're injured now because they lost that game. Their pride's been injured, and they're going to face Vanderbilt, and they better be ready because Vanderbilt can score a lot of points.
Yeah, they can.
Defensively, I wouldn't count on it, but if they get in a groove with their quarterback, like I said, we always mention that odd statistic with them. Their offense is 80, 90, something like that in the country, but scoring, they're in the, I think, 30s. So they don't, their offense is not near the top total efficiency, but scoring points, it's up there.
Mm-hmm. It sure is. Adrienne had a really, really good question right here. And before you go, I want you to answer this one. And I see where she's coming from. She said, based on what's happening so far this year,
yes,
do you think football is really about skill or attitude? When it boils
I think you could have the right attitude on it, but you better have some skill.
you kind of weigh though, so that's a good question.
Right, you better have some skills on it because if the other person's much faster than you, you could have an attitude where I want to tackle that player, but I can't catch him. So your attitude, it doesn't matter because you don't have the skill to catch them, or they're too big to block them, or you can't get by them because they're too big. They're blocking you. So you have to have both. You have to have both.
Yeah, but I can see where she's coming from about attitude.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you have to have the attitude. Most of those players in the SEC, there's similar type ability. Now the skill level is where there's differences.
Yeah, because I can have the attitude that I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be a quarterback for Alabama or whatever. I can go out there. There's no way I could be successful.
Right, you need the skill. Right. Yeah, you have a positive attitude. I want to quarterback a team, but you need the skill. Yeah, you can't have one without the other.
One of those big ones would fall on me and I'd be squished to death. I mean, here's what I would do. Forget it. Here's the ball. Take it. Run. Absolutely. Okay, 1 minute left in this segment. Who is kicker of the week?
Oh, the kicker of the week, Donna. I'm trying to think of a game where it mattered. I don't think there was a game that I saw where there was a kicker.
I didn't see a whole lot about the kickers this week.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a kicker in a tight ball game that mattered. I can't think of something.
Didn't do well.
I'll give you this. In the Alabama game, both kickers missed attempts, and they made them. So it wasn't 100%. So they did matter because if you didn't make it, it wouldn't have been a close ball game. So yes,
absolutely. We got to go. AP, thank you so much for being with us as always. We're just tickled to death to have you on this station. And thank you so much for what you and Kelly did. Oh, by the way, do you have your interview set up for this week, AP and Kelly?
Well, I think we're going to discuss this Missouri and Alabama game. And I think I want to speak to somebody about Texas A&M too, because they're a hot team. They're playing LSU, a big ball game. Yes.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. AP, again, thank you. And thank you guys so much for watching. You're the reason we do this. And thank you to all of our sponsors. We appreciate you as well. Everybody have a great one. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.